Films and television series, premieres at movie theaters and international film festivals. Lives of film stars and other daily activities. Stay up to date with everything that is happening in Kazakh cinema by watching Price of Admission.
On today's program, 50 years of Kazakh animation, Khaidarov. Film 91 on-set interviews. Faces of Kazakh cinema, actress Aynur Turgambayeva. This year, Kazakh animation celebrates its 50th anniversary. If we are talking about Kazakh animation, we immediately assume first Kazakh animated short film «Почему у ласточки хвост рожками» and its creator Amen Abjanovich Khaidarov. We are standing in front of Jambil Kazakh State Philharmonic, which is situated at the intersection of Kaldyakov and Tolyby streets. Kazakh Film Studio used to be located right in this building. During World War II, Mosfilm and Landfilm, i.e. Central United Film Studio, were also headquartered here. Kazakh animation director Amen Khaidarov was creating his first animated short films inside this building. Although he was clearly influenced by Disney-style animation in terms of content, his films drew heavily on Kazakh folklore tradition. Amen Khaidarov has lived a long and fruitful life. He had lived to see his 90th anniversary. When asked about his age, he used to answer, "I'm 300 years old, the same age as Tortilla the turtle." He also said that he had lived though a lot during his lifetime. Indeed, he survived Soviet famine of the 1930s and fought on Eastern Front during World War II. After the war, he set out to build an animation industry in Kazakhstan. I had a great admiration for Disney. I was captivated by his films and tried to emulate both the style and quality of his works. I didn't want simply to copy, but rather to mix his style with my own artistic vision. Narrated by Shaken Aymanov. There are many legends among our people. Here is one of them. It tells about Genghis Khan's cruelty, about wild stallion named Kulan, and about long-suffering Dombra. It was a long time ago, when the life was great and no one could even think that black spikes of war were threatening our land, that white cities would turn into ashes and human life would be cheaper than dust under the enemy hoofs. Clearly, the fate had sent me Nurgisat Lindiyev, who was a truly great artist. He perfectly understood the idea that every character in the story had to have its own voice. The tyrant asked, "Where is my son?" Many people were thinking at the time, is there a need for a Kazakh animation studio when we already have Soyuz Multfilm? Moscow Committee was established in order to oversee the production of the first Kazakh animated film, since they were very skeptical of our success. But when the film was finally finished, Fyodor Khitruk took Amen Khaidarov with him to visit the Walt Disney Studios. «Почему у ласточки хвост рожками» has received the Bronze Praxinoscope at the International Animation Film Festival in New York. We were told that the film had been sold to 48 countries. His film serves as an example and remains an unsurpassed achievement. No other Kazakh animated film has ever achieved that feat. He set out not only to bring animation into our country, but also to secure its future development by passing on his knowledge to the next generation of animation filmmakers. This man dedicated his life to one thing and has succeeded in it. He did everything he set out to do. He was able to convey his vision to others. That's the kind of person he is. You should never give up. I could give many examples to prove this. After being forced to retreat in the Battle of Kharkov, we decided to make our stand at Stalingrad. I can remember thinking that if I were to survive the war, then nothing is impossible in this world as long as you're alive.
Для человека, пока он жив.
We are visiting the set of film 91, which tells the story of the boy band 91. One of the film scenes takes place during a fictional press conference featuring all of the band members. It was no accident that film producers decided to make a film about 91. In September 2015, they released their first music video for the song Ayıptama, which spent 20 weeks at #1 on music channel charts. The film has three producers, namely Ерболат Беделхан, Асиль Двакасова and Аскар Узабаев. Quiet on the set. Action. In 2012, Ерболат Беделхан directed dance film «Запрещенные танцы», an impressive achievement. This film didn't have the impact it deserved. It featured brilliant choreography, interesting music and commendable makeup. It was a great example of underground cinema. 5 years after the release of «Запрещенные танцы», Ерболат Беделхан is not only producer of the boy band, but also serves as a co-producer of this film. These are separate projects. «Запрещенные танцы» is a dance film. It was conceived as a celebration of the genre. In the end, I was satisfied with my work since I was able to capture the spirits of underground dance culture. This time, all principal characters are singers. The film tells about K-pop music genre that originated in our country and rapidly grew into a subculture among teenagers.
Сөйлесін сыйлашы жарықтың іштей жанып тұрмын түш тоқтатшы мені өртеніп барады жаным ауырмаған аламын демді сенен осы шақта жүре өткенге сенем бұрынғы қателік біткен мәселе тосқауыл істеме әйтпесе саған қалай мен айта алам осының бәрін айтпай қалай мен жай табам айт сол алғашқы шағында бірге шағайықшы қайта
91 Band was founded only 1 year and a half ago, but they have been subject to much controversy among conservative listeners over their flamboyant look akin to many K-pop stars. Some critics argue that the band's appearance goes against Kazakh traditions, even despite the fact that they sing exclusively in Kazakh. Yerbolat and I have been friends forever. His wife Asil and I were part of Dawi's international group. He used to stage our musical numbers. I have been following his work for a number of years. When he created this band and they became subject to considerable debate, I immediately proposed the idea of making a film about them. Within a few days, Askar Uzabayev told me that he also wanted to make a film about 91, to which I replied, let's make this film together. It will be a drama film. This film is largely about people. It's about what every one of us is going through right now. There are some people that are against any change. At the other end, there are our youth who represent a force for change. Yerbolat Bidzelhan held a large casting call in order to form this band. None of its singers became a band member accidentally. For example, AZ, Azamat Zinkaev, is a band's frontman. He is a rapper and has been rapping since he was 13 years old. Lead singer Batirkhan Malik, nicknamed Alem, is a laureate of international musical competitions in Barcelona and Berlin. He is also a graduate of the Chelyabinsk State Academy of Culture and Arts. Dulat Mohamed Kali, nicknamed Zak, is a choreographer and a rapper. He choreographs all of their dancing. The film is directed by Askar Uzabayev, who is one of the most commercially successful film directors in our country. Meanwhile, his friend, colleague and peer Azamat Dulatov serves as a cinematographer. I worked with them before when we were making the music video for the song Kalay Karaysin, which was featured on the soundtrack for the film Glamour для дур. Then I realized that this film could be commercially viable due to their massive popularity. Our film will be sought after by their fans as well as by people who are indifferent to the band.
Наверное, одна из наших целей – сделать фильм событий. Жүрегімді тез арада алам, аулап, я мен сондай жаман бала, болам, қауіпті алып, алатынын алып кетпесе болмайды, бұған қалай қарайсың? Ну, мне показалась безумно интересная тема того, что у нас...
I found it very interesting that there is a music group in our country that is admired and hated at the same time. Previously, there wasn't a musical film which was based on the idea that there are two kinds of people, those who want to be different from everybody else and those who want everything to stay the same. I found it very interesting and that is why I decided to make this film.
Это очень интересная тема, и вот захотелось снять об этом кино.
Aynur Turgambayeva became an actress by accident. She was discovered by one of the most famous Kazakh film directors, Darizhan Amirbayev. Before casting her to play principal characters in all of his latest films, it could be said that all of Darizhan Amirbayev's previous films were male-centric. Films like Kairat, Kardiogramma and Killer featured men in the lead roles. Since the arrival of Aynur Turgambayeva, Darizhan Amirbayev's films have started featuring women-centered narratives. I didn't plan or even dream of becoming an actress. I had been studying music since childhood. Once, one of my friends asked me to drop him at the Kazakh film studio. There was a casting call for Darizhan Amirbayev's film Joly. I hadn't even heard anything about this film or its film director. Finally, my friend didn't pass the audition, but on the other hand, I was chosen to portray the female lead. Only then did I understand who Darizhan Amirbayev was. Who was that? What's wrong? You'll be pleased. My mother's dead. Your dream finally came true. Don't joke about things like that. It just says she's fallen ill. Of course, I am very flattered by the fact that "О любви" and "Sugar" screenplays were written specifically for me. During that time, I didn't have to worry about competition or taking the screen tests. Darijan Umirbayev aims for the portrayal of character actions as automatic and habitual, an acting style that contrasts strikingly with Stanislavski's methods of the theater. We developed a good working relationship. He was always able to convey his instructions, and as a result, he was satisfied with my work. Tokjan and I used to go to concerts together. We used to sit side by side, our shoulders touching. She checked time on my watches. I would take the program from her hands without a word and feel at that minute that she was near me, that she was mine, that we could not live without each other. But by some strange misunderstanding, when we came out of the theater, we always said goodbye and parted as though we were strangers. Maybe I didn't fully realize at that time the importance of our collaboration. But now I understand that I had been blessed with working with one of our best filmmakers who wrote his screenplays specifically for me. I'm happy to have known Darijan and Limara. I regard them both as my mentors, especially his wife and producer Limara Jiksimbayeva, who passed away too soon. I have never met anyone more dedicated to cinema. I have such fond memories of our trip to Cannes Film Festival, when we were networking and meeting other producers. She used to say that I had potential of being more than just an actress. I didn't give it much thought back then, but now I'm thinking more and more about it. Maybe I'm currently preparing myself to become a filmmaker. I want to create women's cinema. As a matter of fact, films directed by women in our country are strikingly scarce. Maybe it's a bold and scary move, but everything pushes me towards taking this big step. Today we told you about father of Kazakh animation Amin Khaidarov. We visited the set of film 91 and also spoke with film actress Aynur Turgambayeva. See you next time on Price of Admission.